I'm joined today by Maureen Taylor and Louis Pisker to let you know about a new financial empowerment center located in the Wayne County Treasurer's Office.
Do you know someone, family or friends, that need help with finances? Do you know people having trouble making ends meet, especially with property taxes or other payments? The Detroit Financial Empowerment Center can help. Treasurer Sabri invites you to visit the new Financial Empowerment Center, 400 Monroe, on the 5th floor in downtown Detroit.
We've partnered with the Wayne County Treasurer's Office and the City of Detroit to provide free one-on-one financial counseling to help you address problems related to utility bills, property or income taxes, credit repair, and other financial matters. Our professional counselors can also help you plan your monthly budget and increase your credit score.
This service is available to all Wayne County residents. For free and private financial counseling, contact the center at 313-322-6222 and make an appointment today.
Alrighty, good morning, good morning. It is Friday, just a couple of seconds right after 10 o'clock in the morning. We are in our places. If you were looking for the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfair Rights, you found us. My name is Maureen Taylor, and I work with the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, and I'm here with my colleague, Marion Kramer, who is the national chair of the National Welfare Rights Union, who is about to give you an official welcome. So, Marion, please say hello.
Hello, and it's so good to be here today, Maureen, because too many people we're losing these days. I want to remind you that you're listening to WHPR, and that if you want to call in, and we would hope that you're fired up and you really want to call in and talk about what's coming up, Maureen, this whole election process. And the numbers are 313-868-0342, same 313-868-0351, or 313-868-4336. The website is www.tv33whpr.com. We would love for you to call in and participate. Make sure if you don't even call in, you have a pencil and a paper in front of you, because we have information for you. You remember that we always tell you that, and then some of you call for a whole week at our office trying to get. What did you say? How they say it, Maureen?
What was that you said? What was the number?
What day was that?
Yeah.
And you know, they
All
don't
that,
even.
yeah.
Yes.
Write it down.
So welcome. Let's get going.
All right, let's take this first call because we might have a guest that's calling us this morning.
Yes.
Caller, good morning. You're the first caller of the day, and welcome to Ask Welfare Rights. Caller, you are live.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. Sounds like that familiar voice we were looking at, huh?
Yes.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Dr. Dave.
Folks, we've asked very famous, certainly infamous young man to join us on the air today, and he's at work, so we're going to bring him right on. This is our dental expert. This is our dentist, Dr. David Apsey, and we asked Dr. Apsey to call in today and give us some heads-up information about several subjects. But Dr. Dave, let's start off with this importance of connecting dental work, dental examinations, and the COVID-19 virus. What's the connection between those two, Dr. Dave?
Okay, well, the COVID-19 SARS-2 virus will become established in the nasopharyngeal region, which means in your nose, in your throat, and in
Mr.
your
Engineer?
mouth before it's going to go down into the lungs.
A little bit louder, Mr. Engineer. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Dave, and tell us what those big words mean.
That's the nasopharyngeal, nose, throat, and mouth.
Okay? Nose,
So the
throat.
virus will get established in there first. Are you getting any feedback, or is it okay?
I think we're just about okay. Our engineer tuned it up a little louder, so go ahead.
All right. So the thing to do for prevention is to be sure to use disinfectant rinses for your mouth, your nose, and to brush your throat, and to brush your teeth with a disinfectant, which we suggest baking soda.
Okay, now, Dr.
Yeah,
Dave, you and I have been discussing this for quite some time. And I want to just reference, we talked about it again last night. George Stephanopoulos was the first person that I connected with COVID because he said he lost his sense of taste. You remember that conversation. Can you say a little bit more about why that's a significant message, a significant symptom, and why dentists need to be more observant and the first line of defense for this COVID virus? Go ahead.
Yes, this is one of the early symptoms for some people, but it can be prevented. Again, this is not a cure recommendation, but the use of disinfectant rinses in the nose and mouth can have a preventive effect of reducing the viruses in your nose and mouth before they get down to the lungs.
Okay, and you know how significant that is. And viewers, those that are watching and listening to this program this morning, Dr. Dave, board certified, and what he's talking about is if you have become infected, one of the ways you know it is that you lose your sense of taste. But he's saying before we get to that, every day when you're out and it's a possibility that you might have been exposed, you should go home and gargle, disinfectant, clean your mouth out because the virus enters through the mouth. And Dr. Dave, say a little bit more about this nasal thing.
Well, you can get any number of devices. The one common one that's advertised widely is a Navage. But there's any number of nasal rinse devices, and you just put a saltwater solution in there that's recommended by that manufacturer, and use it to rinse out your nose at least once a day.
Okay.
After you come home from your daily activities outside, because you just don't know if you got exposed to the virus.
And I think what you're talking about is preventive measures. If you're out and you're around folks and it's possible that you could have been exposed, then you should be gargling. You talked about washing your hands, but in your mouth and in your nose, because that's where the virus shows up.
And it's easily as important as washing your hands to wash out your mouth and nose too.
Okay,
Doctor. The way you get it in your body is through your mouth and your nose.
Did you hear that, Marion? The way you get it into your body is through your mouth and through your nose.
And so, it's an automatic thing.
You know?
A lot of time you don't even know that you got your hand up on your face or nothing like that, and you haven't washed it.
Okay, now, Dr. Dave, I need you for just another couple of moments, if you can. You discovered something yesterday in terms of an international piece of news from Australia. Do you have a moment to explain what happened there?
Yes. So the question comes up, what is the value of wearing a mask? And other mitigation measures, which are hand washing, and of course the oral and nasal rinse, but that's not really one that's widely known about. But the reason why, a very good study came out of Australia which was 25,000 patients. It's not a huge study, but it's published in British Lancet Medical Journal. And what it showed is that during the winter season, which Australia has just finished, that in Australia they had a 90% reduction in flu cases. And first they were speculating that this might have had something to do with the flu vaccination. But then there was some suggestion that maybe vaccinating for the flu might reduce COVID transmission. Well, but they started to do the study a little longer and found out that it was the mitigation measures that were put into effect for COVID to reduce COVID transmission, which would include wearing a mask, washing your hands, and social distancing measures, staying more than 2 meters or 7 feet from other people whenever possible, are what was primarily responsible to reduce the flu transmission. And the flu can be deadly as well.
Yes.
And to cut the flu transmission, flu cases by 90% is a striking finding that they made, and it also helped to prevent the hospital systems from being overwhelmed by COVID and flu cases all at once in the wintertime, which is one of the biggest concerns for us, and our cold and flu season is starting.
Okay, now, Dr. Dave, I want to just make sure before we let you go back to work, we need to be really clear. And what you're saying is based off of these new studies, and particularly this one that came out of, or I guess coming out of Australia, which is just coming out of their winter season. We're just
That's
going
right.
into ours. Yes. And they have identified several things that led to a 90% reduction in flu cases, and that one of those preventive measures is the importance of wearing a mask. Now, did you just say that, Dr. Dave?
That's what I said, and what we found from the studies about COVID transmission is wearing a mask when you're less than 7 feet from other people will cut the transmission by 80%. So the risk for transmitting to somebody if you have COVID is 17.5%. If you wear a mask, it drops down to 2.6%.
Isn't that amazing?
If you stay
Something that is simple.
Something simple as that. You don't have to get sick, and you don't have to get dead.
Now, the problem with the reason why we should wear a mask is because there's two groups of people that are spreading the COVID without knowing it. And those are people that are infected with COVID and have no symptoms at all through the whole course of the disease, and another group that just got exposed, who was unaware that they're pre-symptomatic. It's before they develop symptoms, but they're already infected and spreading the virus to everybody else. So everybody should wear a mask because of these two groups of people.
And in fact, people should have those before they leave in the morning time. Make sure that their mask is at the door always.
Keep them in the car,
like
we do. Keep them
we
in the
got
car.
boxes in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
But Dr. Dave, I want to say that your office is quite ready for folks to come in there and get service and what have you. So clean, and your staff is outstanding, and if people can, if you don't have a person like we have,
we got our own dentist.
Our dentist, you need to find one, or call Dental Care of the Future, and he will come out and speak to different groups, but
well, we
these days
now,
we're doing virtual.
You do a virtual,
and
now.
he loves the computer, so he's there to speak to the public.
Well, Dr. Dave, thank you so very much. I know you're at work, and we wanted to get that information out, the importance of wearing a mask. the importance of disinfecting your mouth, Listerine, whatever you got, baking soda, but always do that.
Yes.
And that Navar uses that Navage to clean the sinus passages
Yeah.
out. So, Dr. Dave, thank you so very much. Give us your last and final piece of information. And you are a bona fide dentist, a trained doctor. So give us our last piece of
Prescription.
information that folks need to know.
Yeah, give us. You done gave us an over. It was a great, simple type of way to look at this and to take care of yourself. So you on.
Yeah, just wear your mask and take care of your neighbors. It's about taking care of your
Take care of
neighbors.
your neighbors. Thank you, Dr. Dave. We will catch up with you later on. Thank you so very much.
All right. Have
All
a
right.
good day.
Bye
Bye
now.
now.
So, all right, now, Marion, here we
was
go.
wonderful.
Here's a study coming out of Australia. And again, we're going in Detroit, we're going into our winter season in this state and in this nation. They're just coming out.
That's right.
And so, before Australian winter set in, they were already giving people vaccinations for the flu. And, they have an attitude, a national attitude about you have to wear your mask or it's going to be a fine. We're going to charge you some money and we're liable to put you in jail for a little while till you get the message. So all of that. And then now that their winter season, they're heading into spring and they're doing the research, well, what happened over these last 6 months to get a 90% drop
That
in
is
flu.
amazing.
And flu across this country kills tens of thousands
Yes.
of people in America
They don't-
every year.
and they don't take care of themselves as far as going to the doctor. Or
And they
something
don't know what to
to
do.
As soon that nose seemed like it's gone beyond control. Even before that, go to the doctor if you have insurance, and if you don't have insurance, go. And it's better to find out and then get some samples or something like that than to sit around and be sick.
But Marion, I want the viewers to hear this message about how to prevent stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you're going to stay in your house, you think that that's going to save you, but there are other people coming in your house. So you have family members that's going to show up. But what Dr. Dave and I have been talking about for months is that some of these things can be mitigated. Some of these things can be
Yes.
prevented. And the easiest thing to do, I don't know, Marion, we were all at a wonderful wedding reception down at Belle
Oh, it
Isle.
was
We were
wonderful.
outside. And everybody was really good and wearing their masks.
Came up with those masks on. That's what I was.
Showed up with the mask on, including our representative from Threat Management.
Yes,
Everybody had on a
and,
mask.
you didn't have to
gloves.
say nothing to
When
them.
you went over there to where Sylvia and Teresa and the folks were serving food, they and Kalani. And Nicole, what they told you is you have to put your mask on.
That's right.
And your gloves. And here they got a box of gloves. Here's some gloves for you. And to
here's
go
a
down the
mask.
serving
Yes.
line and whatnot. And Marion, there was at least 60, 70 people there. None of us got sick.
No.
None of us got sick. We were out there 3-4 hours.
And it started raining.
Not hard to do.
And people were so
Compliant and
not
wearing
only
what they're
compliant,
supposed
so
to wear.
helpful in the sense of
know?
being aware of where they were
And being careful. Taking
taking
care of each other.
I really enjoyed that.
So once again, in order, and we got to get this message to these young people that are going to these college campuses.
Oh, Lord.
And I just do not understand.
You sound like
why? Well, I don't understand why we have to keep repeating the same
you
stuff.
sound like Crystal.
Well, I don't know why we have to keep repeating it over and over again. You have to wear your mask. You can go to your club if you want to. You can go to your dinner and to your restaurant if you
Yes.
want to. Put your mask on.
But Maureen,
God, why is
it's
that
a
so
simple,
difficult?
very simple. I
You
was
know?
shocked. I was talking to my baby girl, and I said, "Crystal, you
don't
have your
understand it.
mask on. You've heard that." She said, "Ma, I just don't understand why people got to go out and get sick. When they're telling you what to do, have those masks on, have you go. She said, but I don't have to go out. I'm doing it over the computer.
Yeah, but that's classes.
Yeah.
But folks are gonna come by her room,
Oh yeah,
and she has to always be careful. And I know she
always.
is. But
We hope so.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, all we can do is the best we can do, and putting a little piece of fabric over your face, gloves. You know, when
You
we had
still
the
are-
reception. We didn't even let people touch the mustard and ketchup.
Sure
Remember,
didn't.
had individual packets. You know, so it's just
But
not that
you know,
hard.
if you're worried about how you look and stuff, you look marvelously great and smart.
Yeah, you
because
look smart. There it is.
There it is. And it shows you that you care not only about yourself but others.
Care about others.
All
All
right,
right.
Maureen.
We lost another warrior in Highland Park. So we just had
Yes.
to give Emma Fogel back. And you just told me we had to give somebody else back. So why don't you tell us who that is?
Yeah, one of people that have been known in the community for quite a while, and gave her time to work with the what you call it,
Council?
council, yeah, with the council for the longest, and was even sick on her bed, still working.
What's her name?
We lost night before last, and that was Norma Jean Lewis, our councilwoman. She passed away and flew on to heaven. And we want to say to the family, you have our deepest sympathy. And Curly, you know we're gonna be stopping by to see about you and the family. It's just we're losing too many, Maureen. And the thing is, on a national level, people are dying by the minutes and everything because of the person that's at the helm in D.C. say all we have to do is sit back and wait for it to get cold.
Or get better, or it'll disappear.
Yeah, I mean,
or
it'd be
something
better
crazy.
if we had to make sure
We need him to disappear.
Yeah, that's what we need. That is the remedy. Is that he and his co-partners disappear.
Yeah, that will help a lot. You know.
And one other person we want to speak to is, and I hope she's listening and looking at the program, is Miss Lisa. We still got you on our mind, and we still want to see where are we in the process of the police department at least saying they sorry. Not only sorry, my thing is, Lisa, you keep anything that you can as far as, the monies that they have to pay out for being so nasty about what they did to you and your grandson and your husband and the community. It shows you that you wonder, do they practice said, we don't care about nobody else.
Now, folks may not know what you're talking about.
Last
year.
Last year, I think it was around
It don't matter.
November or something like that. Lisa
A
had
policeman got shot. Is what it started.
That's what it was
Yeah,
all about.
and then the other police officers were intent on finding
Who?
did that, and they
Well-
went to houses, but Miss Lisa is an elder, and got to her house and bust in the door, however it is that it happened.
No, Maureen, what they did was they knocked on the door real hard, and her grandson said that he went first to find out who it is because he didn't like the way the knock went. This young man had ran through their house. They didn't know who he was. Through the house and out the back door, and her neighbor called and said, Lisa, look in your backyard at all the police that are back there. What is going on? Lisa didn't know what she was talking about because Lisa had just had eye surgery that day.
Didn't know what
Didn't
was
know
going
what
on.
was going on. Trying to listen to the TV and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, her grandson opened up the doors and they snatched him out.
Talking about the police.
It was cold that day. It was snow on the ground, and threw him in the snow and told him he better not move, as well as they went in there and snatched Lisa, who was still, recovering from her procedure that day, and smashed her face, took this hand, smashed her face into the snow, and refused to tell her what had happened. But later on, Maureen, and they still there, later on, the chief of police and them were able to capture the person. But do you think they went down and apologized and to try to find out how that family was doing? This is look where we are. No,
So it looks like
haven't
that
heard
family
nothing from them.
deserves an apology of some sort.
Not only apology.
Well, I'm saying I don't know that, we talked about this. I don't know where there damages. Was there anything that was broken in the house? That's what I'm saying.
It's damaged because you didn't. Here is Lisa, 70 years old, a person that is, that put a lot of fear into you. You don't know how to move or nothing, and that by the mere fact, no respect for this. You went down and checked on those police. You should have checked on them too.
Part of what Detroit Will Breathe is to talk about defunding the police, and some of that conversation needs to be more specific. I know they're engaging in caucusing about what does that mean, but there has to be a whole change in the way police officers are trained, a difference in the way police are, when you call them, what is the expectation. So it's a lot of things that need to be revisited, a lot of things that need to be rediscussed. And so, for Miss Lisa, I know that was a terrifying event, but only if Welfair Rights gets involved and others and write something up and make a suggestion, here is what happened, but here's what we think should happen effective immediately. It's not going to happen no other way. It's not going to happen.
Well, if welfare, we're going to do that, but at the same time, other people in the community should be protesting also around Miss Lisa. Here's a person that's always, if you need her to help you out in different affairs and stuff like that, Lisa she's there. You can talk to people like Paul, on the east side. What's the name of Paul's organization?
Talking about Paul Taylor.
Taylor, yeah. And Paul will testify to how Lisa. I will Lisa is a tremendous
community asset.
And for them to be able to get away with that type of stuff is nonsense. And so I know you and I was talking about what are some of the things that needs to happen with the police department.
Got to be some changes.
And we talked about the need to pilot this type of incidents. And the incidents, people, these cowboy type of, I don't want to say cowboys, no. But these folks out here that think because they can wear a badge and have a pistol on them just can outright just shoot anybody they want to, or throw them down and stuff like that. When we find out that type of stuff happened, then there should be a rule. And that rule is that person, in order to stay on the police department, not only retrain, bust down to the level of a police that's been there one day. You're getting my drift, Maureen, because they don't know nothing. They don't know how to respect the community and the children out here, and kids don't respect no police no more.
See, that's on us, though.
That's
on us. We have been asleep at the wheel.
I'm not claiming that.
Well, I am.
I'm not claiming that.
I have allowed police officers across the nation to be rogue. Okay, and when I say it's on us, well, I do. I take responsibility for that, because I do know that there are officers across the nation that know that this one and this one and this one are aggressive and violent, and they don't say anything, and we don't say anything either. We know that there are some police officers, just like we know there are bad officers, there are bad school teachers, There are bad lawyers, there are bad doctors, there are bad social workers, all of that. And we don't say anything until the crap hits the fan. And part of what Detroit will breathe, and I'm sure they're bringing that fight as they
No,
are
they
all
are.
over the place. That's got to change. That's got to change. So I'm watching these mayors in different parts of the
Oh,
country
they
dismiss the
just
whole.
dismiss. It's criminal what they're doing.
No, I'm talking about the mayors that dismiss and fire police chiefs.
Oh,
You're
okay.
out.
Uh-huh.
Because after we find out that not only did you not represent the truth, you lied and you covered stuff
And you
up. So
covered it
you,
up.
you out.
And they've been doing it
You
for
know,
a long time.
that's what I'm saying. So all of these, George Floyd dying and this young fella, what's his name, Prude, the one up in Rochester, is just, I don't know how to think about this one. The brother called to say my brother is having an emotional episode.
Yes.
He's outside, Marion, no clothes on. It's cold. You could see the little bits of snow and ice in the headlights of the police cars, and they're all got lights shining on this naked man. He's handcuffed behind
None
his
of
back. No, he's handcuffed behind his back.
Matters
Then
that.
they put, well, wait now. If you're handcuffed behind your back and you're nude, I'm not sure what the danger is yet. Then they put the spit hood on him because they said he was spitting and he was saying, I've got the COVID disease. So now he's incapacitated. He got the hood on his head. He's handcuffed. He's sitting on the ground. He's nude. And still, they push his face into the concrete and choking the man, and he died. What else?
They murdered
What
him.
else needed to have happened? And I remember some of my good buddies, police officer friends, that say to me, "You could do everything that's right, and you could still get shot." See, that's a message. That is a message that is not supposed to be.
You're supposed to be
a
a peace officer.
peace officer. Lord
A
have
peace
mercy.
officer.
Goodness.
You're not supposed to be. Somebody call and say,
Executioners.
don't go out trying to execute the person and that type of stuff. You're supposed to be able to bring peace to the community. And you bring it. You the word, and you
Bring
end up
violence.
Yes.
No different than the
person
dope dealers
that-
that are bringing violence.
And a lot of
same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. 868-0342-0351-4336. Marion, I brought the numbers again so we could talk about where people can go to get help. And we have run into an incident, and I heard about it
Yes.
yesterday, where apparently someone, I know well-meaning, put something on a Facebook page. I don't do Facebook, so I had to hear about it third hand.
Neither
And
one
so
of us do
Augustus is the one that called me to tell me that someone had put on Facebook a message that said, if you need help with lights and gas, utility bills, water bills, back taxes, burial funds, call call DTE.
Call DTE.
Yeah, somebody put that on Facebook, right? And what it is that they're mixing up messages. They probably had one of these flyers, and the thousands of them have gone out. But DTE is only able to provide assistance for a light and a gas bill. DTE does not provide assistance for a water bill. DTE does not provide assistance for back taxes. DTE does not provide assistance. That ain't gonna help me today. DTE does not provide any assistance with burial funds and that sort of thing. But I think this was just an error, and to clean it up, Marion, I
clean it
thought
up.
we would just be real clear. Oftentimes, this is what this flyer says, and a lot of you have this, and it says the community is often not aware of what resources are available as we try to manage during these difficult times. The following information we hope can help. Now, you call Wayne Metro.
Yes.
You call Wayne Metro if you need help with a water bill, back taxes, burial funds, minor repairs, You call Wayne Metro. That number is 313-388-9799. Now, that's water, back taxes, burial funds, minor repairs, that sort of thing. But if you have an outstanding DTE bill, you should be calling DTE at 1-800-477-4747. That's 1-800-477-4747. Now,
that number,
and let's clean this up now. That's the DTE number.
yeah, but
They can't hear you. You're relaxing.
yeah, I gotta relax. If you look on your bill, at times it's they have all these numbers for you to be able to call.
Now, that's just for DTE now.
I'm talking about DT.
Yeah.
And if you having these problems and you forgot where you put your little piece of paper that you might have wrote it down on today, look on there and
On
on
your DTE
DTE bill today, and you will see these numbers.
Okay, now there are two things for that part, Marion. If you already receive food stamps and if you're already on Medicaid, that means you're going to be asked to complete a state emergency relief application, an SER. You can call DTE at that 1-800 number, and they now have trained staff that will complete a state emergency relief application over the phone for you.
Which
now, that's just
expedites
DTE.
everything.
All right, because after they finish the application, they will electronically send it to the welfare department.
Say that again, Maureen.
You know, after the folks at DTE complete the state emergency relief application on the phone, they will electronically send that application to the welfare department. So you don't have to do anything about that. They'll send it. Then, after the welfare department says, yes, you are eligible for help, the welfare department can pay up to $3,000 toward a combined light and gas bill. Now, Marion, that's just for the folks that have food stamps and Medicaid. Now, let's just say you need some help on a bill and you don't get food stamps. You're not eligible for Medicaid. Your income is a little bit higher, so you don't get welfare help. You have a large DTE bill, a small DTE bill, a medium size, whatever you have, but it's a DTE bill.
And your income.
And that's determined by your income. Now, what can happen there is that you can call Wayne Metro, and they will help you with a light and gas bill. You're probably going to be asked to complete a state emergency relief application anyway, but once it comes back that you're not eligible, then you go straight to Wayne Metro and say, I got my denial, I'm not eligible, and I need some help. And that's when folks over at Wayne Metro will give you some assistance.
Who was it? Gracie and I the other day, after we left a meeting with the water department, we decided to go up to Wayne Metro and find out what was going on. It's located in the ones for Highland Park and what have you, is located in the Head Start building, where Head Start program usually is. And you have to, we found out you can't just walk up to the thing. You have to call in and talk
Make an
to
appointment.
one of those, they will take your name and call you back and begin the process and tell you,
Now,
what
let me
happened.
just interrupt you for a moment. Marion is still thinking about face-to-face visits. So Marion,
Yeah.
whenever we have a
I
conversation about
forget
anything,
about that.
Marion says, well, go over here to such and such an address. You can't go up to no such and such address no
Well,
more.
you know-
You have to make an appointment. Don't nobody up at whatever these places
Well,
are. They don't want you coming up in
Look,
there.
look,
So-
look. Gracie and I had the time to go check it. But at the same time, give them the phone number again for that because
Wayne Metro.
Yeah, for Wayne Metro. Again, we're not playing with you. If you don't, that money goes fast. You can't sit there and think it's gonna be there next month and stuff like
Might
that.
not be. 313.
Let me say this: what she told us. I asked her about a roof, and all that. She said they can
Minor
talk.
repairs, yes.
Yeah, they can do probably something, but you need to talk to them.
Yes.
Them being the people that call you back and probably ends up with your particular case and working it through.
313-388-9799. 388-9799. So now we've explained the differences. If you got food stamps and Medicaid, you complete the state emergency relief application process. They'll do it for you at DTE. And that's one group. And then the other group is if you're not eligible for food stamps, you're not eligible for Medicaid, then you go to Wayne Metro and let them tell you the steps you need to follow so that they can help you with a DTE bill and back taxes.
Don't wait till the
funds.
snow get on the on the ground.
You know they're gonna wait. And the nature of the beast.
In
here,
Highland Park, a lot of our houses are over 100 years old, or even more. Yeah, over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And the bricks might be pulling apart. We discovered that the other day, and at my house.
Foundations are shifting.
And try to find a way to get that stuff fixed.
Now I don't
Same
know. Does
thing.
Wayne Metro? They don't do foundations.
Well, you need to find out. You never know what they might know, so try it.
All right. If you are interested in a COVID-19 test and you need that for free, you can call 211, and that's a United Way, 211, and they will ask you what is your zip code, and they'll tell you the 2 or 3 closest locations where you can get a COVID test. Now, Marion, I'm working on the task force for racial disparities as they are connected to COVID.
The funniest thing is when she got on that task force, I think Maureen was thinking, "Oh, this not gonna be long." We all was thinking that.
I wasn't thinking that.
Shoots.
I just didn't
But
know
I'm
how
glad
long
that she got
COVID was
on
gonna
it.
last.
But I tell you, it's not an easy job.
Okay, so now there is ongoing testing that happens at the state fairgrounds. You remember that one? But now what we've been able to develop 2 other things. We've got permanent testing sites now, permanent ones.
Really?
And 3 days a week is pretty much to schedule. And of course, the one that I brag about the most is at WC3. So 48235, 48219, 48221, 48228, and 48227. Those are the 5 zip codes that have the most intense cases of COVID infection. Okay? And the Wayne County Community College location, that's at Outer Drive in Southfield, 3 days a week. It's a permanent site. It's open to students, to non-students. We've got a ton, I don't know why I didn't bring that list. We've got a ton of senior buildings. I'm not talking about nursing homes because there's a bunch of them there too. But we have a plethora of apartment buildings. Alonzo and them live over in one of those places. And folks can go get a test. It's free. It's a phone number there. They prefer you to call to be able to say, have the appointment set up because these are permanent sites. Now, if I got tested for COVID last Monday and my test came back in 2 days, they're coming back in 2 days now. Yeah. coming back in 2 days, and I test negative. I'm not sick. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, I go to the disco. And I'm at the party and I'm dancing and I'm stupid and I don't have my mask on. And I'm really stupid. I don't have my gloves on. And I'm doing all of that. And then I catch a cold the next day. All right? Because I took the COVID test on Monday and I came back negative doesn't mean I can't get it again.
That's right.
So that's why we were anxious to set up these
you had to
permanent
dance
sites.
some more, didn't
Oh,
you?
I did. Well, it's a 7-minute delay.
I forgot.
Yeah. All right. So we have these permanent sites, and if you call us, certainly down at Welfair Rights, 964-0618, we'll give you information about where you can go, or you could just directly call 211. But Mary, there's another piece to this, and I'll offer it now on the air. We finally have use of all of the mobile testing vans. So we've got like, when you call 911 and you're sick and the ambulance comes, we've got vans and we've got trucks that look like that. And we've got trained staff. We've got testing kits inside, all of that, and they're mobile. So we've got one of them that's stationary up at Cots on Peterborough, right off of Woodward. But what I'm offering to folks on the air today, if you have a group of folks at a location, some schools have already opened up and school children and staff are showing up in person. And if you need for one of us on the task force to requisition a day for that truck to come, we could send that truck out to Detroit Community Schools, or we could send it to Mumford, or we could send it to Henry Ford High School, or we could send it to, Highland Park, and we could work out a day, we could work out a time. One time they could show up. If you need them every Tuesday from 9 to 11, we could do that. So we have a mobile unit now that can go to all of these places, and the tests are free.
Can you imagine how many people would be alive if that man in the White House now had to put something like that? Something simple,
He
Maureen.
knew back in January, February,
simple.
Mary, that bad things were happening. And even if none of us were completely clear, by January, February, maybe we didn't know, but by February and March, we started to have a hint. It was March when Andrew Cuomo started doing those everyday news conferences. And he used to call it Hell on Wheels, remember?
Yeah.
The people were so sick. The nurses, I never heard nurses saying, I just want this to end. Just day and night, day and night. Finding
we've
out
lost
the
a lot
nurse.
of them, too.
Well, I was just getting ready to say, the nurse goes home after a 24-hour shift and supposed to come back in 2 days, and she ain't there, or he ain't there, and they call and they call and they go do a welfare check. There's the nurse on the couch, never made it any further, went to sleep and died. Oh my God! March and April, it was crazy. This is now September, Marion, and number 45 still.
It's
going to
talking
disappear.
nonsense.
It's going to be gone in a little while. We're going to have a vaccine probably before the election.
And did you see that crowd he was in last night? Those folks got to be. You wonder,
We support the president. That's why we don't wear a mask.
Hey, Marie.
What is that
And
mean?
sometimes you be looking and say, are they robots? What?
Unbelievable. But folks, if you need the mobile van to come to you, and Marion, I'm not talking about Mrs. Smith, who wants the mobile van to come to her house and so she can come outside. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where there are gatherings of people. All right. And I know we doing COVID and we stand away from each other and whatnot. But like up on Grand River and Greenfield, there's still a lot of shopping and travel and whatnot that happens in that area. And if you have something like that where you are, where your church is meeting outside.
Right.
Okay, we've got a lot of churches that meet outside. 200-300 people. You want the COVID a mobile van to come to your outside church activity. We can do this Monday through Sunday. They work 7 hours or 7 days a week whenever you call them.
And that,
so we can do that
that
now.
was wonderful what our church
Yeah,
did. Talk
yeah,
about that.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. What did our church do?
You know, when you go coming in to get food and what.
Oh, we still feed the Noah Project. Still feeds 200-300 homeless and down on your luck folks every day.
Yeah.
So from
Not every-
9, Monday
Nine.
through Thursday, Monday
Well,
through Friday,
Friday.
one or the other.
One or the other.
They'll do it on weekends.
Uh-huh.
But 2 hours every day, and I'm not sure if it starts at 9, if it starts at 10. But you come in and the temperature wand, they take your temperature. If you're sick or if you have a fever, they contact an ambulance that'll
Right.
come and pick you up and take you directly to DMC.
See, that's
But
caring.
we feed people and care for folks every
That's
single
caring.
day. Yeah. You know. So, and let me say this last thing. Marion, Fiat Chrysler is still taking
I want to-
applications.
Yes.
Alrighty, now Fiat Chrysler is hiring for different jobs at the Jefferson plant in Detroit. We're talking about downtown. So people continue to call and say, well, what's the phone number? Say, well, there is no phone number. We're living in a new world. You have to apply online. Oh, well, I don't have a computer. Well,
Go to the library.
what library? See, there you go, virtual. There
Can't
you
get
go.
that out of my head.
All righty, you have to find a way to get online. And I
got
can't
a
solve
phone.
that one. You have to find your children, your grandchildren, somebody in the neighborhood, but you have to find a computer. You cannot apply unless you have one, and that's just all
Do you
it
have
is.
a telephone?
Telephone for what?
They can.
Oh, you mean on the phone?
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't think of that. If you got one of those smartphones, you can apply. But here's the information. Detroit at Work, no breaks. Detroit, spell it out, at ATWORK. DetroitatWork.com. And then / F for Fiat, C for Chrysler, A for Assembly. So DetroitatWork.com / FCA. And then the application will come up. So that information is available. I got 2 more things. What time is it? We still got 6 more minutes. All right. The eviction diversion program, protections against evictions for most of us have expired. So those unable to pay rent for several months because of COVID are able to now access help through the state by reaching one of the agencies on this list. Now, this is throughout the state of Michigan. The governor has put money to the side for this. For Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck, you want to call United Community Housing. United Community Housing. Now, this is for back rent. United Community Housing, and I talked to Ted the other day. He said, yes,
Is he
they're
doing
still
okay?
working. Well, I asked him, is the program still up and running? He said, yeah, they got money to be spent. People won't call. Alrighty, and the number is area code 866-313-2520. That number is area code 866-313-2520.
313
2520.
2520.
And the area code is 866. Okay, so if you're behind on your rent, I'm not talking about a light bill, a gas bill, a water bill here. I'm talking about rent. Okay, that's where you call.
Wait a minute. The name of the place you're calling is United Community Housing.
Yes, housing.
Coalition.
So it doesn't have anything to do with water, finding you a date. Doesn't have anything to do with any of those
God
kinds of
forbid.
issues. All right. Now, speaking of Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck, I was on a DTE partners call and found out that the CEO of DTE has, I know he
Changed.
talked about it a long time ago, but he now has put together the foundational pieces to create something new. And I thought, what an outstanding idea. And they're organizing something called the Tree Trimming Academy. Now,
No,
I'm sick of
good,
trees. A
good.
tree trimming
Very
academy.
good job.
Now, what this is if you DTE is all over Detroit. They all over. I don't know if they're doing it in Highland Park, but boy, they all over Detroit. And cutting down those doggone branches that are blowing and flowing and getting caught up in electric lines, and we lose power in our homes. So all that's going on, and there's a whole big argument about outsourcing jobs. Well, the new CEO, very interesting man, said, look, we don't have to go and get somebody from Ohio or Illinois to cut down trees. Why don't we open up an academy and train people to not just cut trees, but
to
a
get
whole realm
license.
of information about how do you approach a line that is active and you can hurt yourself. How do you cut a tree from the top down or from the middle up? What do you do with the pieces of it? There's a whole culture involved with training folks how to be tree trimmers.
Right
And
now.
the top salary is up to around $140,000 a year.
Look.
I think people should be engaged and want to enroll in this upcoming, and they're just going to start
You hear that,
recruiting
Tim?
people, tree
don't
trimming
hear that.
academy, okay? And people, they're going to start recruiting students in October for classes, apprenticeship classes that are going to start in March, and it takes a year. But at the end of that, you become a journeyman. Tree trimmer. 6 figures.
Let's say this. They were talking about this on the news the other night about how people don't want their trees trimmed. And the man tried to explain to them why they needed to trim. See, I love trees, but trees don't love me because I got allergies and stuff. But
Them branches hit those wires.
it's a new day. It's not the days that when when we had the old telephones and all that stuff. It's the day that those trees
Have to come down.
and the wiring out there can't work together
Power
like that
outages. That's
and
what's
stuff.
gonna happen, you
and
know?
and once that tree fall on that on
that wire?
yeah, on the wire, you might be without lights and gas and stuff
Well,
like that.
definitely lights.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, so-
people are also growing, trees into tree lots and stuff like that, which is a wonderful thing. So let's try to move and get everything safe for our people out here.
All right, Marion, we're down to our last about a minute and a half. You've got about 30 seconds to say good night.
You're right. I feel like it's good night. I'm so sleepy. I've been sitting up here doing what I usually do, start yarning. But at the same time, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you're able to enjoy the rest of the month.
We are in active discussions with the administration here at WHBR.
Yes.
And we're talking with HT and RJ, see if we can get a couple of campaign, get out the vote messages. We have to do that. We're still talking about it now in September. But look forward to somewhere in October, we're going to put the message out, you have to vote. And we're going to give you some reasons why you have to vote. We're not telling you who to vote for,
listen,
but you got to vote.
Life or death.
Yeah.
Look
some
at
things are
all
going
the
on here.
people that have died. I don't see why people don't feel that.
Yeah.
Died because
Didn't have to.
somebody think that they know it all.
Yeah.
And killing people, it's
Said he
actually murder.
Said he knew more than the doctors the other day.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
All right.
laughed about it.
Ridiculous. Call us at Welfare Rights if you miss any of this information. 313-964-0618. And we'll repeat it to you and for you. Up until then, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we will be back here next Friday. And it will still be September. So, Marion, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.